What is art? Is there any way we can define art? What makes a piece of art what it is? Is it the emotions it fills us with? Is it the technique, the brushstrokes, the medium? Something that we've all asked for generations, and yet there is no concrete answer. Art truly is whatever it makes us feel. And with that, today we will be looking at some of the greatest awful album covers of all time. Hi guys, Comfy Pongo here today, and today we're going to do a video that's a little bit more low-key and upbeat after last week's video. And I want to do a video about something I really enjoy, which is awful album covers. Like many people out there, I've spent my whole life listening to music. Like many people out there, I appreciate album covers. But with that, of course, there are just as many people that make bad covers. Now today we're not going to be looking at some of those like boring bad covers, because there's a lot of those out there, just your artist's face on the album cover and not really saying anything. No, today we're looking at some of the ones that are so monstrously bad that they stick out in my brain and kind of come back round to the point where I kind of love them. First things first, starting with an easy one. Pantera Metal Magic. Why is Pink Panther's roided cousin here? Now, this is a wild one just to begin with, because Pantera, you think of the groove metal band that has all these wild, like, kind of aggressive album covers. But this is just absolutely weird and stunning. Why is this really badly drawn panther holding a sword, I think, or a knife, being the metal cover of your metal album? I mean, not only is the drawing awful, but the perspective on it is just really fucking odd. And there's something about the way his head is staring directly at us with the way his body's tilted. It just looks really odd. I don't know about it. Something about just the Panther's vibe and just him staring at me, it just gives off this absolutely disgusting vibe. I mean, like, he looks like the kind of guy that will call you out for drinking water. Like, he just looks like he does nothing but crushes beers. But at the same time, that's kind of why I love this. The furry Conan the Barbarian. Just everything about this painting I love. It's just so odd. Let's not even mention the really awful fucking type font on Pantera. It looks like that one word art thing that everybody used back in the day in primary school. Oh, so what is that sword thing, man? That thing looks fucking awful, dog. Our next one, we're going with Big Bear Doin Thangs. Now, I think anybody who's been on the internet knows about good old Big Bear and his magnum opus Doin Thangs. I genuinely think it might be one of the greatest pieces of art of all time. Like, they should hang this shit up in the Louvre. I think everybody would just be like, oh yeah, damn, that's beautiful. I don't know what is better about the album as well. His goofy sort of Party City Pimp outfit. There's like two photoshopped bears. Although now I'm re-looking at it again, there are 4 bears, but the other two are in the back. Kind of like a security. Yeah, the awful Photoshop bears. Or the fact that, like, the fucking bears have these, like, cute little outfits on them. And then on top of that, you got all these, like, blingy sparkles. Like, this is just great art. Not to mention as well, we got the 2 different type fonts and weird super outer glow on Doin Thangs. Like, it's a fucking high beam light blowing you away. Like, this is a really great just piece of art. I just even like too that Big Bear's kind of in the backdrop. The bears have kind of eclipsed him there. Also, that freaking plait on the table looks delicious. I want some of that. Right, now we're going for maybe one that people aren't as familiar with, which is Helloween's album Rabbit Don't Come Easy. Why is the Terminator pulling a rabbit out of a hat? Why is the rabbit giving like this stank face? Why does it look like a Shutterstock image? Don't worry, the album's music doesn't explain any of this either. I don't know what I'm looking at here. This looked like, again, someone figured out how to use 3D modeling software and was just super into it. Because this is awful, man. Just a really bad rendered 3D model. I can't even tell if all of it's 3D or not. It's just not good. Why does he have a metal hand? Is there any explanation for it? No, just left with this really odd looking cover, man. Not great album, awful cover. Now we're going with a classic in the metal sphere here, which is Iron Maiden's Dance of Death. Now, Iron Maiden is a band pretty famous for usually having pretty great artwork on all their albums, and artwork that, even on some of their worst albums, really does stick out. They really dropped the ball on this one. It looks like 3D monster porn, and I don't know what's funnier, that dancing baby just like cameoing in the middle of the image, or the guy that is just directly looking at the viewer. Why is he just staring us down like that? I really don't like it. I read as well, apparently, originally the image was just going to be that Grim Reaper in the middle, the one piece of drawn art with this sort of hellish backdrop. But then for some reason, they were like, I need something else, and this guy that fucking loved 3D modeling decided to add in all these weird fucking 3D models, and yeah, they all look like they're doing some basic dance animation, and it's really weird, unnerving, and it absolutely takes you out of the album. The worst part about this too is this is, I think, Iron Maiden's best like post-Dickinson reunion album. Like, this is an album with some absolute bangers on it, but if I ever try and recommend this to somebody, they're just gonna look at this artwork and be like, what the fuck am I looking at? Also, I didn't notice this too, but the baby is fucking dancing on the dog, but the perspective is wrong. He's like standing on the dog's shoulder. So that's great. Love that. Millie Jackson, back to the shit. I don't know if this is awful or raw as hell. Like, this might be the most relatable album cover of all time. And you know that even the fact that her shoes are off on the floor and she holding on for dear life, this is the realest image of all time. This is a woman really going through it, you know. She's really having one of those moments. The Taco Bell kind of dump you got there. I've not listened to any music of this album, but if it's as raw as this album cover is, I bet it's a 10. ICP Bizarre. My god, my eyes. Fucking hell, my eyes. Technically, this and its partner album, also called Bizarre but spelt differently, have similar covers, but for some reason the eyes on this one just add to this overwhelming visual pain and confusion. But damn, it really does feel like something out of like a Ripley's Believe It or Not like fucking book or magazine, which I suppose is the point considering ICP's sort of vibe and, you know, their influences. But at the same time, it just revokes the reaction out of me of just pain. Like, it's the same vibe as when you're walking down the street and someone has their fucking high beams on and you just get blinded. Like, that's how I feel like this album. It hurts to look at, and the longer I stare, the more my eyes hurt. Not to mention as well, something about the font on it. I know ICPDs use this font a lot, but something on the font really just adds to just the overwhelming, like, oh god, feeling that this, you know, cover produces. Also, no good album, by the way. You know, a whoop whoop to all my juggalos in the audience. Enter Me Lord, Mary Hinge. I don't know anything about Mary or her music, as it seems the only proof I could find of this album is this one image being plastered over every Reddit and blog. My god, this one image is fucking amazing. Love the dog that looks stuffed. Love that Mary is badly imposed onto the background. Love that at no point did anyone involved read that title out aloud and realise the horrific double entendre it created. This is perfect. I mean, just look at it. You know, I think the fact too it has the Safeway 189 fucking thing. I mean, I don't know if that's Australian or American dollars, but fucking hell. I also love the weird stereophonic sticker in the corner. It just really adds to it. I also forgot to mention the subtitle. It's not even just Enter Me Lord, and let me feel thy mercy. No one thought about this. I mean, look, Mary's probably a lovely woman. She looks like a nice lady, but God as well, it's not the most flattering image of her. I'm not going to be mean, but it's not the most flattering image, which really does add to this almost surreal David Lynch-like quality to this album cover. Beautiful Christian art, you know. This is just like the Sistine Chapel. Born Again by Black Sabbath. This is another example of a great album with an awful cover. This might be one of the last really great Black Sabbath albums. But what is that cover, man? The cover looks like the equivalent of graffiti you'd find in like a school textbook. Like just an image of a baby turned red with awful nails and demon eyes drawn on it. Like I can just imagine seeing this in the science textbook. It's so simple, you know. It may not be as over the top as a lot of the other bad ones on this list, but it's so simple that it kind of adds to the charm of it. And it's why I love it so much. Gucci Mane Trap Story. Gucci Mane as fucking Buzz Lightyear. Gucci Mane as Buzz Lightyear. I mean, there's so much going on here. One, the fact that the wallpaper is just all says trap music. The fact that they've used some like Photoshop to recreate Trap Store in the Toy Story font. The fact that Gucci Mane and his mate is fucking photoshopped onto Woody and Buzz, but they've given freaking Woody this big chain. The aliens are there for some reason. I don't know why. They're just completely unfazed by the situation though. Not sure what these weird blown out bricks are on the floor, but they look kind of odd. And then there's just Gucci Mane's mate, or I don't know, maybe just a shot stock image of some guy looking like damn in the background. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. It's iconic. Absolutely amazing. Great piece of art. Greatest of all time. Creed weathered. The members of Creed are photoshopped onto a tree at low opacity as a stock photo man is chiseling a tree. I get the implication is that he's chiseling them into the tree, but it looks more like the members of Creed's souls are trapped in a tree, like an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog that had a face. And, like, this guy is cutting a tree down with the most ineffective tool. Like, he saw the Creed tree and he's like, I need to destroy it now. But all he had on him was a chisel and a hammer. He's like, I guess I'll have to work. Or maybe he's done it on purpose to agonize the members of Creed for even longer. And on top of this, there's also some random guy in the background with, like, assuming that one's an axe, being, like, freaking beamed down by the sun. Like, it's like a police helicopter pointing him out. Just everything about this, it screams, like, we had a bunch of stock photos and Photoshop trial. Let's go, baby. It kind of reminds me of like some of that weird conspiracy art where it's just loads of Photoshop stuff on top of each other. It's kind of amazing though. I also love Scott Stapp in the middle praying like, please don't cut down the tree. Great piece of art. Trick Daddy. www.fuck.com. The tabs in the top left corner are fucking sending me. We got music, sex, drugs, money, and death. And then just a big red square for some reason. I like the red square. This is like some early 2000s gangster SpongeBob art shit. Like, those fucking tabs, like, are just so funny. And not to mention that the last one just being like, music seems really tame in comparison to everything else on there. Not to mention just like having the features be all these little guys on the bottom is great. And as well, just you are now online. It just is, well, just kind of feels like one of those things I'm like, there's so much to look at here. It's like, kind of like my eyes don't know where to look. Also, Trick Daddy's logo kind of reminds me of like the No Fear logo, which is kind of great. And I also just love this super low quality image of Trick Daddy in the middle. I love it. Also, bonus points for that random tiny skull in the corner. Kappatone, Black Tarzan. What do I say about this? What do I say about this? Well, I got some notes. It's giving first Photoshop project in IT class vibes, and I think that's mainly why I'm so obsessed and love this album. Like three of the animals on the cover don't even live in the jungle, and then like the lion half facing is just like the funniest thing in the world. Like, it's such a clear, like, easy Photoshop of just a lion face, and then just using like the soft edge erase tool. I love it. I even like that the lips don't match up with his lips. Like, it needs to be slightly cut more. Not to mention, just in general, I do love that he's posing the same pose as the lion. I also love that it's like the lion and the bear in the top left and bottom right corner having a shouting match. And just the eagle is there. For a second there as well, I couldn't even tell that was a real eagle. I also just love that it has these random two, like, grey squares at the side. I'm assuming it's because, like, the black is in black font, but I feel like there's so many other things you could have done to make it work. Two grey squares just make it look like it's just, like, missing textures or something on your arm mat, and I love it. I also just love the inclusion of a deer. Like, the idea of just, like, these animals represent my strength. Deer. Just a super weird album in general. Love it, though. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Love Beach. If you saw this album cover, you'd never know that this is a prog rock album, let alone one from a band so famous as Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And on top of that, when you compare this to their premium album art, it really does stand out as cheesy and awful. Like, look, I'm not saying all of ELP's art is great. They did have some things before this, but like, they have some absolutely beautiful ones, and then there's just this. And it is such a weird album cover in comparison. Like, it just stands out as this super cheesy and awful, like, bottom of the barrel bag and bin album cover. But, like, I still kind of love it because of that. Like, it frames these, like, three prog rock virtuosos as, like, the Bee Gees, and it's kind of everything. So, for that, I love it. Also, you know, seeing Keith Emerson with his shirt off, 10 out of 10. And now for our final and most beautiful art piece of the day. Goosey Doughboy. I got that cake mix. I love this one so goddamn much that I have it as one of my wallpapers on my desktop. I genuinely think this might be the greatest bad album cover of all time. I love that for some reason the world behind the crackhead Pillsbury Doughboy is the day after tomorrow. Don't know how that happened. I guess man just had so much paper that the world turned to ice. I don't know. He iced out his chain so bad it just started to reflect. Possibly. I love that the same cake mix bowl has been pasted 5 times on the cover, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the money coming out of the toaster and also kind of setting the toaster on fire. I think that's a great addition. I love that there's just like a huge bag of Coke randomly next to one of the boxes of cake mix. And where do I even begin with the Doughboy? Why has he got a mixer that's on fire? Why has he got like tattoos all over his chest? Why does he have absolutely terrifying bloodshot eyes? And I love that he has a little Doughboy sticker on his hat just in case he forgot. Also, he has like $3 poking out of his pocket, which I just love, adds to it. This is just the pinnacle of amazingly bad art. Like, you just know that, you know, Goosey Doughboy, which is a wild name to keep saying repeatedly. I feel like it's like another tongue twister. You just know he thought this was the coolest fucking shit when he made it. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. Like, I would have this just freaking posted on my wall. This is the hardest shit in the world. It is so goddamn stupid in a way that's perfect. The fact as well that, like, you think that maybe cake mix is like a euphemism for like drugs or money, but then it is literal cake mix on the album cover. So just everything about this is just pure perfection. Perfect. Down to the last minute detail. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And, you know, yeah, if the Louvre, you know, needs some new artwork suggestions, call me up. We're going to put this there. We're going to make this 800 feet tall. And with that was, you know, my short little exploration of the greatest awful album covers of all time. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and enjoyed just me looking at some absolute, just perfect stinkers, you know what I mean? And again, I just want to thank everybody for a lot of positive and nice comments on the last video. And again, if you like the video, remember to like the video. If you'd like to subscribe, remember to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notifications to get an update every time I upload a new video. I upload weekly, so you're never far from a new one. And with that, Comfy Pongo out, guys. Have a great weekend.